Alright folks, we're going to start off today by talking about a couple changes I've made recently to day 10. So if you've already done it, extra credit is coming your way. If you have not, then take a look. So I've got some examples here linked out. These are the ones that I'll go over in today's video. Example of the 8 principles turn-in, what that would look like, an example of a script turn-in. And I will eventually link out, once I'm done with my animation, I'll link that out as well, the storyboard. I'll do like a screenshot of that. So we're going to change this to at least 6 of the 12 principles being used. Please only list 6. In my example, I have 6 written down. So follow that template. Hey animators, so I had a request for help on day 10's assignment from a student. And I decided, hey, might as well put together a video on Sunday to help you guys turn into my April 3rd, which is actually April 5th. But I will waive any type of late issues with your assignments if you turn it in by Monday, April 6th. So I'll change that on the turn-in as well. Let's take a look. Clicking here, popping out day 10. Use your knowledge of 12 principles of animation and Adobe Animate 2020 to help create a short story that you could use for your unit final. So basically the two things that we're going to do is write a script with proper formatting and then create a storyboard and label 8 principles of animation. Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you a quick example on how to do that. So how do you write a screenplay with the proper formatting? Well, if you don't remember because it's been a while, a quick Google search for like screenplay proper formatting yields you a bunch of information you can find. I just went to the writer's store. There's like a WikiHow or like how to do this that we used in class. Generally, guys, a nice kind of rule is that if you don't understand how to do something, and this is any assignment, if you don't understand how to do something, just do a Google search. Right? You just copy it. You know, when we're doing this virtual stuff, by all means ask a question. However, you can just do something like this. Copy, right? I just right-clicked, and then just go here and just paste it. Right? I didn't know what that was, but now I'm looking here and I'm going, okay, what's all this stuff? Okay, and you've got all these resources. Right? And this could be anything. This could be create a storyboard for your film. Like, what does that even mean? Copy, paste. Boom. Masterclass. Well, I want to pay money for that. How to make a storyboard, step-by-step guide, all that information. So it's a good thing to practice, right? What are the 12 principles? 12 principles, well, I don't know, 12 principles of animation. What are those? Copy, paste. Got it. Okay, so let's get into writing a script, because I said 60 to 120 seconds, which is basically 1 page, right? So, and this is in 12-point Courier New font because that's how it has to be. That again, that's our in this guide we have here. 12-point Courier font, 92. Basically, every page you write is a minute. So that's why I said like half page to a full page. So you start off with fade in. Okay, the very first item on the first page should read these words: fade in. Right, because we come in and it's giving directions on what is going on the screen, right? Because you're writing a screenplay, so you're writing what plays out on the screen. You're not just writing what the people are doing and saying. You're also writing, you know, where it's happening, what it looks like. So let's take a little look-see here. So we're going to do a fade in. Okay, so after a little bit of writing. I just totally made this up. I have no idea where the story is going, but I'm just doing it to kind of prove a point. So we've got the fade in. We've got, it's the exterior of a pawn shop. It's during the day. I've got a little kind of story here leading into our, a little write-up leading into our story. And then we have the next shot, which is the exterior of the pawn shop in the parking lot. Customers in line talk to each other about why they are there. So then we're going to have some people dialoguing. Now, well, Jimmy will be the first person talking. Okay, so we have Jimmy. He is talking, and we're gonna drop that in. There we go. We have Jimmy. He's centered, and we're only doing this because we see. Oh, looks like it needs to be. Okay. All right. Now I added this this thing here, this left tab stop. If you don't know what that is, you can click up here, add left tab stop. It just, I don't really care. Like formatting wise, I'm going to do it perfectly because I'm doing the example, but it doesn't really matter as long as you got the name in the center, and then below it we've got some text. Make sure you tab in a few times. So I only have to tab once, but if you make sure you tab in a few times when you're typing, because you just want to make sure that it is not on the left side. If it is, then it's confusing. That's not how you do it. So we got some dialogue, right? We got Jimmy. So let's see what Jimmy says. Okay, so we have a quick 60-second script. So it's one page, right? We've got some information here, pretty basic. Fade in, exterior pawn shop day, got a little blurb there. Parking lot, customers in line, talk to each other. We got Jimmy. We got Jimmy and Franklin. I have no idea why these people are standing in line. I don't know why they came to a fight, but I will link out this script example. This is very high in action, so there's a lot of like, I mean, I'm not saying it's an action movie, but there's a lot of this kind of stuff where action is taking place. Action is on the left side, dialogue is like this. And I didn't do, if you want pure actual formatting properly, I just kind of randomly did not. There we go. All names should be capitalized. So we've got basically Jimmy takes offense to what Franklin says. Franklin's aggressive. His eyes boil with anger. Right, that's a good one, right? And then he doesn't get talked to like this, and he takes his wild swing and lands it on his temple. Franklin staggers backwards and blocks Jimmy's next attack. So we go down here, and Franklin is obviously upset. They continue the fight. So this is 1 minute. This is 1 minute. So this is our script done. Okay, and I will link this out. So just writing something out, some sort of story. Again, it doesn't have to totally make sense. You're not writing a whole story. You're writing like a part of one. If you think you can write a whole story in 60 to 120 seconds, that's 1 to 2 pages. Good luck. So, all right. Create a storyboard and label it 8 principles of animation. We're going to label 8 of them. Okay, so this is something that you could hand draw. I just didn't animate because it's the software we use. So the storyboard you're going to do is going to be based on the script you made. So having that script done first is important. Got all this done. Right? So label 8 principles of animation. So this might be all of my scenes right here. So I've got exterior of the pawn shop, I've got parking lot, and that's pretty much it. Now, we're probably going to move the camera around, so a storyboard is, what you see on the camera. So what is going on in the camera. So I'm going to draw this stuff out real quick. It's going to be looking pretty bad, but we're going to do it quickly just to kind of prove a point. So quickly and poorly done storyboard, but it kind of gets the point across, right? So what is going on inside of the box is what is happening on the camera. Each of these, right? So these are just individual like cuts, like when we were doing our videos, and you would stop filming, and then you would move the camera, right? That's a cut. So, we have a quick shot here, cut to the exterior of the pawn shop. The background is a busy city, right? Car sounds, etc. We see a large line on the side of the frame. People are slowly shuffling into the shop and filing out. There seems to be a lot of excitement among the people. Why is the line so long? So, that's the next scene. We see Jimmy in this scene from the side. Very descriptive about that. And we see that the pawn shop is in the background. right? And we've got Jimmy talking to Franklin. So Franklin is asking him, interrupting Franklin, asking him a question. Franklin turns to face Jimmy and delivers his line. So we've got Jimmy talking to Franklin. Franklin is looking either at the camera or away, and then once he Jimmy interrupts him, he turns. We see his head turn this way, right? That's why I've got the arrows on there. And then because Franklin says something that's not super nice, and then Jimmy, it cuts to his eyes. He's got crazy red eyes. His face turns red. He's super angry, right? Okay. So where could we find the 8 principles of animation? So, okay, so now we're going to cut out to a Google Doc. So we've got our script. We've got our screenplay done. This is just probably hand-drawn, I would imagine. And then we are going to go to a Google Doc, a new one called 8 Principles. So where in here can we label our 8 principles of animation? Well, you saw that I kind of went crazy over here. That was to get an easy exaggeration one. So all we're going to do, guys, is we are going to just say staging. Staging, right, is the purpose to direct the audience attention. What is the greatest importance of the scene? So staging is pretty... So on this page, we are going to just list out, and you could do this on the second page of your script, or if you're hand drawing it, you can just do it on the back of your drawing, right? It's whatever you want, because if you're turning in, the online copies, then well, a Google Doc anyways, or Google Drawing, or whatever you do this in. If you're turning it in by by hand, by taking those pictures and everything, then you'll take pictures of it, and it's not really a big deal where you put it, as long as when you turn in these things like the script and the actual storyboard and your principles descriptions, as long as I get all of them in some capacity, as long as it's labeled in some way, it's fine. Okay, so we've got staging, right? First shot of the pawn shop, important details, where it is in town with the cityscape and car sounds. Okay, I'm going to just kind of do this chronologically to make it easiest. I'm going to actually go here also with timing, because as we see, because when we're animating this, because this is an animation, this would be an animation, as we're animating this, I talk about people are slowly shuffling into the shop and filing out. So I might need to, add something over here where people are, exit and people are, walking out, something like that. So what we're doing is the timing of it is going to be important, because if people are just going in quickly and coming out quickly, that we want to. So I'm not going to do all 6 because honestly I've got kids out there that are screaming, but you'll kind of see where I'm going with this. So staging, we're using the definitions of each of these principles, reading through them, and we've done so much on them now. I hope that you would know a little bit about them. And if not, you could just use Google search. So we're going to take a look at how each of these work, and then we're just going to write about them and how they apply to your storyboard. So first one, staging, right? It's important that we have the shot the way it is. So we see, people going in, going out. Okay, timing is next. So because we're animating, it's important how quickly or slowly things go, because if we draw more frames, that means it goes slower, and if we draw less frames, it means it goes faster. So timing is important with these people going in and going out of the building, so we're going to add that. Okay, so there's that right there. Let's add the next one. So here, I did this one. It's actually going to be solid drawing, believe it or not, because Franklin is going to turn, and we're going to need to animate Franklin from both the side and the front. So as Franklin turns, we're going to need to have multiple, we're going to have to draw, keyframe, 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 keyframe. So we're going to need to draw basically Franklin turning. So by doing that, we're actually using solid drawing, okay, 3-dimensional space, because as Franklin turns to the side, we can't just have him just teleport, right? We want to do this with quality, so we animate him turning, which is basically straight up solid drawing. So Franklin then looks like a 3-dimensional shape because we see him turning. He doesn't just flip-flop like a piece of paper. So we would do something like solid drawing. Okay, pretty straightforward. All right, crew, so I've got the 6 down here, And I've got a couple Easter eggs for you here if you want to look for them. But these are the 6 and that I have chosen from mine. Pretty straightforward. Once you get done with this, you've got this, right? You've got your script example, okay, and then you have your storyboard. So this could be hand-drawn, like I said before. Once you have those done, go ahead and turn those in. You can find it, of course, Day 10 Turn-In, or if you're turning it in on a paper version, you go to Code COVID, Paper Turn-In, and attach it there. Hope this helped. Like I said, I'm going to extend the due date on this until tomorrow, which is the 6th of April. Well, let's go do that right now. Day 10 Turn-In, please turn it in. If you turn it in late and it looks like it's late tomorrow for some reason, don't worry about it. Just let me know if you have any questions.